Yo, what's poppin'? I'm going to break down my new song, Soulcaster, which is out on all platforms. You should check it out. The link will be in the description or somewhere. It sounds like this, in case you don't want to check it out.
You've sold your soul. Now you know. Sold your soul to feel something.
Yeah, that's the song that I'm gonna break down. This is the first song I have released with vocals on it, and I spent a long time working on this song. There's actually, there's like 12 versions of this song that I made. There's 12 versions of this song, although the difference between some of these later versions is pretty small, like between 10 and 11.
Your soul. Now you know that feeling.
There's like this pop when I say feeling.
That feeling.
The only difference between 10 and 11 is I remove that. So the differences between some of these versions are pretty small, but between 1 and 12 it's pretty big, I would say. I probably didn't need 12 different versions, but I will. Yeah, so let's get into it. I kind of make songs in 3 sections mainly. I do have like the main part, which is like all of the instruments pretty much, and then drums, and then vocals. The reason why I separate them out is I generally have everything that's non-tonal separate from the stuff that is tonal, so that way if I need to pitch down the stuff that's tonal, I could do that, excluding vocals, because I would do this pre-recording vocals, like before I even record any vocals. So if I wanted to pitch this down like 1 or 2 semitones to put it into a different key, I could by just pitching down this whole group instead of each track individually. There are in this project a couple of things that are out of place. Like, for example, this one is with the tonals, this little shrine perk thing. It shouldn't really be in there, right? It's not tonal. And then on the flip side, in the drums, there's actually like this little tonal swell that should be in the other section, but I'm not actually pitching anything down in the groups in this song. I do it in some other songs that I made that aren't released. But yeah, that's just kind of why it's in these 3 sections. The first sound I made was this kind of glitchy sound. Prior to starting work on this song, I had an idea that I wanted something glitchy coming out of like, or particle-y coming out of one headphone, and then something else to counterbalance it on the other headphone. So that's kind of the idea. And believe it or not, this sound that I made, I kept the original one. Sounds like this. I actually reversed the one that I'm using. Right, if I re-reversed it, you know, it sounds the same. This sound is a piano. Yep, it's a piano. First thing I did, some EQ, cutting off some more low end, and a little shelf boost on the top. Some wider, free plugin, does exactly what it says. You should get it if you don't already have it. RC20, this digital knob in Digitalis combo, really underrated. So I made this, and then I put a Digitalis on top. I drew this in. I didn't know what to draw, so I made a little scene. And then Sphere Quad, which is doing flanger and chorus. And then the main thing that's doing work is Portal here. And I just use this not even preset. Alright, and that's how I got to this sound. The next thing I did, since I panned this first sound like 20 to the left, I wanted something on the right hand side to like kind of balance it. So I came up with this. Without any of the effects, sounds like this. With all the effects, it's just this, I don't know what preset I'm using. Drake Lang. Looks like I edited it a little bit, but I don't think I did much. Kind of the same stuff with the EQ, RC color, and digitalis. I kind of wanted to keep it kind of similar between the two sounds in terms of processing, and then portal at the end here, just to kind of make it a little glitchier. Shift and blur preset, and together they sound like this. They go pretty well together. I'm gonna loop this section here, so that way I don't have to keep starting and stopping. Next thing I did, since I had something on the left and I had something on the right, I wanted something in the center. Just kind of tucked more in the background. Without any of the effects, sounds like this. Kind of similar stuff in terms of EQ and processing compared to the other two. And the preset, just astronomy. I don't think I changed it at all. All three together. And then I found there's a little shrine perk, which is like, you know, just adding some texture over top. Pretty cool. Next thing I did actually was the bass. And I'm using the Ramzoid 808 cooker, the Aviation Short plugin, goated plugin. Aviation Short preset, still a goated plugin. And then I added this ozone. I don't think this is really doing anything. It's like barely doing anything. Technically, I think you're actually supposed to use this on the master, but like probably work. And the next thing I did was I made this little lead thing. This little synth. A little ghost note in there. And I'm pretty sure without any of the effects, it's just a basic sine wave. Pretty much. It's pretty much just a basic sine wave. Some distortion and reverb on. And then similar stuff, EQ wise, wider. RC20. Give it a little digital. Digitalis. And then Decapitator, which really just gives it a little extra oomph on the top. Next thing I did was this little synth, and I just took the same Serum preset that I made, that really basic sine wave, and I just adjusted the envelope, and then I want to make it a little buzzier, so I put plus minus on the bend. Or bend plus minus. And then EQ wise, taking a low end, kind of taking a little off the top end. RC color, distortion and some space on it. Kind of similar stuff. Digitalis, kind of the same thing on all of the sounds, but they go well together. And then some delay. I think without the delay, it sounds like this. Not really doing a ton. Just enough, though. It doesn't need to be doing a lot. Yeah, and then other things, just a couple other random things in here. This little sound, which actually comes from the Serum. It's this part here, and I was just kind of messing around, and I've noticed that if you started it here, it'll do that, which I thought sounded cool, so I recorded it out into audio. I added some wider air ether, which is a really cool reverb. What else is there? Technically, this also shouldn't be in here. This is just a white noise riser. It isn't tonal, so it doesn't matter what key it's in. And then there's this last riser I made, which is just this thing, but like stretched out a lot, and I added some chorus. This Chorus T plugin, really good chorus plugin. It was free at one point. I think you gotta pay for it now. And some air ether, some more reverb. And that is kind of the main section of the song. Together it sounds like this. go into the drums next, and then we'll do the vocals. Drums, I don't remember what I started with. Probably, I generally go top down. That's usually the order that I make music in. So I'm guessing I start with this tom. Let me loop this section. And then this clap, snare. And this snare actually sounds like this. It's a lot longer. I really shorten the tail. And then also too, there's portal and decapitator. That's what it normally sounds like. Just makes it nice and crispy. And then there's like this little kick drum. But I have another kick drum in here, which we'll get into in a sec. And they were clashing. So I took the low end out of this one. This is actually from a drum break. So it's a whole loop. Sounds like this normally. But I just wanted that one kick just to go over top. And then the actual kick sounds like this. Nothing crazy going on. But with this other kick. Pretty cool. And then this like little scratch thing panned to the left. And then to counterbalance that, I have this other melody, or not melody, pattern here. Like this like rim almost. On the right hand side, and I just made the rim pattern, and then I went ahead and just replaced a few of the random notes with a different rim just to give it some variation. So it has some variation. And then the only other thing in here is like this little tonal blip, reverse blip. I don't think, oh, there is stuff happening on here. What does it sound like without it? So I just made it a little more spacey. I think also too on this scratch, I took out the low end, it looks like. Just because I didn't want it clashing with the kick. So the kick and bass are supposed to take up that frequency, but I didn't want this other kick that just comes in every once in a while and this scratch sound to kind of fight for that same space. It's like a space only for this kick and that bass. Especially since that bass is so beefy and powerful. It kind of needs that space and shouldn't really be fighting for that space with other sounds. So, yeah. And together all the drums sound like this. Pretty cool. I think also these toms, yeah, I took the low end out as well. Because I also didn't want them clashing with the bass. And then last thing really is just the vocals. And I'm pretty bad at singing, so I might be exposing myself here though.
You've sold your soul. Now you know. You'll never know that feeling so.
Yeah. So there's just the main vocals. These two tracks are the same vocal chain. It's just that I wanted them to overlap in some sections. So that's why I have two tracks of the exact same.
You'll never know that feeling so.
We have some vocals panned to the side.
Now you know.
Some panned to the other side to counteract it.
Now you know. Now you know.
Right. Some distorted vocals that come in a couple times here. And these are running through this like reverb that I made with RC Color. Some OTT, some chorus, some auto pan, some reverb. Nothing too fancy, but just adds a little extra when I need it. And then some more pan vocals.
Now you.
This one's
Now you.
pan 25, that one's pan 50. Also sounds like the EQing is different. And I think this imaging is also different. Maybe not. I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. Just the EQing is different between the two. Combined.
Now you.
And then the same thing on the right hand side.
Now you.
All four.
Now you.
And then just kind of like all of these like side vocals together. Just kind of like,
Now you know. You'll never know.
yeah. Background vocals. And these are actually the panning. Oh. I don't think this is actually being automated. I think it stays at the same value the whole time. Yeah. The panning kind of pans back and forth. And then the only other vocal, really the only other thing in here is just like vocal swell. That just comes in once. I'll break down the main vocal chain because that's probably the most important. I went through a lot of vocal chains making this song.
Your soul.
This is what the raw
Now
vocals
you
sound
know. You'll never know.
It's pretty bad.
Soul.
With delay and reverb.
Soul. Your soul.
And then we'll just kind of
Now you
and what everything's doing. First things first, auto tuning. I think am I on 20? Okay, I'm on 2020. I believe I remember hearing somewhere that Justin Bieber used 20 so 20 retune, 20 harmonize, and 20 flex. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I was like, if I heard that a really famous person uses it, I probably should do something similar. So I kind of messed around and came up with just 2020, and that sounded good for me with this song. And then next thing, Little Altar Boy is pitching down the format. It's taking the format down. Right, it's supposed to be kind of like a darker song.
Your
A
soul.
little bit more scary. I feel like I have a kind of high-pitched voice. Or just like high format voice. I mean, format's like, I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like my voice didn't match the song.
Your soul.
So I pitched it, I formatted it down.
Your soul.
Vocal doubler.
Now.
Some EQ.
Soul.
Compressor.
Soul. Your soul.
A de-esser. This one's not doing a ton. This song has a lot of S sounds in it, like you sold, your soul.
You've sold.
Those S's are really harsh.
You've sold.
Is less happening, so there's 2 de-essers
You've
on here. This
sold.
second one's doing the most of the work. This actually
You're
a free
sold.
de-esser as well. Or at least I got it for free. I think there's a free and a paid version.
You've sold.
Another compressor, just the stock one.
You've sold.
Some Soothe 2. This, what's currently playing, is what Soothe is removing from the sound.
You know. You'll.
So this is all being removed.
Pretty
Pretty cool plugin.
Your
Let's get up some of these.
soul. Now you know.
Glue compressor.
You'll never know.
Not gonna lie, I don't really know a lot about compressors. I just throw that shit on there.
Your soul.
Some fresh air.
Now you know. You'll never know.
Some Protoverb. Fresh air and Protoverb are both free. Or they were when
Your
I got them. They probably still are free. Both
Now
great
you
plugins.
know.
Protoverb is such a cool.
You'll never
Would
know.
recommend.
Soul.
Some RC color.
Your soul.
Adding
Now
some
you
space and some
know.
distortion.
You'll never
Some black
know. Soul.
And that's how you get the main vocal. Anything else that we really need to go over? I mean, there's the background vocals, which sound really, really bad without any of the processing. I can play it for you. I'm not gonna really break it down. 'Cause it's pretty bad.
Your soul. Your soul.
Right, look how bad it sounds. With all the post-processing. Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah. One thing with, like, music is, like, I guess with any art, like, think of, like, making a book, right? They write, like, so many drafts to release one book. Like, they go through, like, go through rough draft, a second rough draft, a third rough draft. Should be the same thing for music. Like, I think a lot of people think that they need to, like, get it right on the first time. And if they don't, then it just sounds bad and they abandon the project. Just keep going at it and you'll get there. Another thing too is, like, save your notes, kind of. I still have these are this is the original. I'll play the original vocal track. It doesn't really have lyrics to it. It just has like sounds. Right? But it's I think it's like kind of important to realize like you don't need to be good at writing lyrics. So I made the instrumental, and this is the first thing I let down.
Your soul,
There's like no processing.
you already saw.
There's like autotune and a slight EQ to the low end.
Like oh,
But I just wanted to get the idea down.
you sold your soul. Now you're all alone, and now you never know what feeling as a soul. You are the soul. Your soul.
Like I'm not really trying to make lyrics. I'm just trying to get the idea of what I want to do down. I think that is important and something that I don't think a lot of people realize. I think that's like everything in this song that there's really to go over. This took me a long time to make, just because I wanted to get it right, and I think I got to the point where I just didn't want to work on it anymore, and it's good enough. So yeah, go stream the song. Yeah, see ya. Bye.